found myself really enjoying Gordon Matt Clark's artwork splitting because of how confusing but beautiful it is. We see closed spaces, dark empty rooms, different shapes and angles, and among that is this bright streak of light falling in. I love how the artist used the bright streak as a pathway and combined it with other photos. Just seeing the photo by itself gives a different meaning or feeling, but seeing them combined together, the sharp but angular lights, the idea of it slowly falling through, it looks like it's slipping away. Like a door that's almost about to close, you can see the little gap of light getting thinner. The door is about to close, leaving you in darkness. It's an intense feeling. As I stated before, each photo has its own perks. At the top, we start off with this rail that is aimed at the viewer but heads up to a doorframe that's open. The light that first comes upward, and then we see a balcony like space that's been split in two, with the light suddenly bending downward. And even though it gets covered up by part of the balcony, we are reunited with the light again in the bottom photo. Again, this light splits up the room, but this time it bends forward to the viewer, almost creating a loop that the eyes can follow throughout each piece. I like that it doesn't make sense. It's very abstract. There's not really a clear point of focus or a subject, it's more of a pretty illusion of a discombobulated space. It reminds me of The Backrooms, which is a horror film based on liminal spaces. The setting of the show is an empty office lobby where everything looks the same and you have to face different entities or levels that'll be on each floor. The main goal is to get out without dying to monsters or puzzles. It's a space where you can easily get lost in, but also drawn to the mystery, the story. The appeal of the backrooms are the many questions behind it. Why does it exist? How? Where is it? What does it mean? Is there even an exit? I wonder what each of these rooms mean to the artist. I wonder if they're related to stages in life, or they portray the artist's feelings about life. Why did they arrange the light in this specific way? Aside from this philosophical appeal, I also enjoyed the purple color scheme of this art piece. Having the photos in their original color or in black and white would have been interesting, but also would have had a lot of contrast. I like that the colors mute the photo instead of making it such a harsh dark to light. Having them all purple brings the photos together more and connects them as one art piece. You don't see every photo by itself, but look at the three together. Purple is a very fun and bright color. It reminds me of childhood shows. When I was a kid, I used to watch a lot of cartoon or animated shows, such as anime or shows on Disney, Cartoon Network. This artwork reminds me of the different universes and shows. The purple makes it look like a magical realm, the confusing stairs and windows are kind of like paths the characters can choose from to embark on a different journey. Specifically, it reminds me of something I would see in Steven Universe, being on Cake, or being Puppy Cat. They use these types of bright pinks and purples when representing different worlds. I can imagine the sad piano theme while the characters wander through the space to find their friend or escape a monster. It feels surreal. You know the photos themselves are taken in a house, but the art altogether looks like it'd be an alternate reality.
Splitting analysis. The piece I chose from the Norman Fisher collection for the Voice of People program at MOCA Jacksonville is The Splitting, 1975, by Gordon Matta Clark. I picked this photo from the collection because it spoke to me the most compared to the rest, because of the familiar love I have with dye heat transfer art styles. To get into why I became infatuated with dye heat transfer art, I was drawn to the mechanics of cameras as I grew up. Many times I found myself taking apart disposable cameras around the house and experimenting with the film inside. I tended to damage the film to see how the photos would look with different variants to the film. Water damage, heat damage, coloring the film, coloring the lens. I did it all with my home experiments, making my own DIY filters. Dye heat transfer art is the use of dispersed dye and a heat source to dye products like clothing. Dispersed dyes are a type of synthetic dye that are mainly used on synthetic materials or fibers like polyester, nylon, and acrylic. The splitting piqued my interest at first because of the noticeable purple hue emitting from the sunlight peeking from the visible cracks in this building. The three photos are brought together in harmony to form as one. The first thing that comes to mind is, what is the meaning behind this photo? From my point of view, and why do I interpret this as the meaning. The meaning behind this photo, from my point of view, is being able to have an obtainable split with how a person may want their life to appear versus the harsh realities that occur in life. An example being the abandoned house versus being able to set your own standards of what life should be or look like. I interpreted this as the meaning since Gordon Matta Clark was an energized person who always tried to find new limits to break or surpass with time due to his cancer. So it makes sense why it could be interpreted as a split between harsh realities and setting your own standards of reality. Now to talk about color choice as I previously discussed. After researching to find the original photo without it being dye transferred, the photo was shades of brown. This brown pairs perfectly with the neon purple hue to give this photo a professional look and make it overall stand out. When I say stand out, I mean because of how rare purple is in general. This adds to the symbolism of purple, representing peace and balance, which ties back to the theme of balancing life and the harsh realities that come with it. Brown can also come with negative connotations like loneliness and decay. With my understanding of complementary colors like light brown and deep purple are a great match to each other. Pairing these two colors together is foreshadowing to the theme of how you want life to appear versus reality. To talk about structure within a picture or an art piece. Structure in an art piece can create the vision of space or the lack of space. The structure makes the room in this building appear smaller than it is, which can make it easier to spot the focal point of this piece. A focal point is a section or area that captures the eye first. In this photo, the sharp edges of the building help allude to the center split in the middle to be the focal point. The shadows in this photo make the light through the cracks appear brighter. This happens to give depth and dimensions to the piece. The theme of depth and dimensions comes back full circle to the structure of the photo and the level of space throughout the piece. The color choice is significant to the mood or vibe the artist wanted to convey to their audience. In this photo, the original was shades of brown, which are symbolic to earthy tones and a vibe of comfort and warmth. After the photo was transferred to a deep purple hue, the mood switched to a mysterious one that has me wondering what's next. Choosing the dye transfer also highlighted and made the split along this with the sunlight more prominent. I also wanted to get into how the shapes in the art piece help allude or change the narrative. The sharp squares and triangles and rectangles edges in this piece can represent trouble and distress, which can be linked back to the theme of realities of life. This photo is a great selection for the Voice of People program at MOCA because, from my interpretation, I believe this piece is about breaking the societal status quotas that many are placed in or held to. This piece helps to give a voice to people who face harsh realities, but want to feel free and liberated in their own way. The sunlight through the cracks help with the symbolism of being able to see the light or positivity in a broken state of mind. Author's notes and bio. Hello, I am Tanaya Dover. I attend the University of North Florida. I am a biochemistry major. I enjoy writing personal memoir essays and descriptive analysis essays like this one. When writing about this piece, I decided to go the descriptive interpretive route because after taking an art appreciation class, I became fond with this writing style. I wanted to discuss the topic of what categorizes art as art and who gets to make those decisions. Art to me is all in the eyes of the beholder and can be interpreted as or however a person chooses. Art should not be expressive to one person and impressive to the next. My favorite sentence or quote from my essay would be, "The meaning behind this photo, from my point of view, is being able to have an attainable split with how a person may want their life to appear versus the harsh realities that occur in life." An example being the abandoned house versus being able to set your own standards of what life should be or look like. This is my favorite because I genuinely enjoyed being able to interpret this photo from my point of view instead of having to rely on others.